Hello my beauties! Today we're going to do a collaboration with Hello World, and this is Eric. We actually go way back. We've known each other since Australia days. And can you tell us a bit about Hello World and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, so I am Eric and I'm the K-pop and fashion reporter for our program Hello World. And we do a lot of Korean content-based things such as celebrity interviews, K-pop and events, and a lot of Korean dramas and movies, which are very big right now. So if you have time, check us out after the show.
So I thought it'd be perfect to do a men's makeup look on Eric based on this recent craze of the new song DNA by BTS that's been breaking records on billboards all across the world. And we have chosen the look of Jin because he has a most simple and natural look that I think you could also use not only on special occasions but also every day as well. Alright, so let's go straight into it.
Great, let's do it.
Okay, so obviously, as usual, we start with a clean canvas, so make sure you wash your face, and we are going to go straight into the first step, which is toning. What it does is actually helps with sebum control. So a lot of men have oily skin and larger pores, so it's very important to make sure that you actually keep your skin oil free for the day, especially if you're wearing makeup, because makeup will tend to make your skin a lot more oilier. The cool thing about this texture is that it's actually more like a gel texture, so it's almost like a toner slash moisturizer in one. Just wipe this through, focusing especially on the T-zone area because that's where you're oily the most. So we're going to just also tone the neck because with Korean makeup, a lot of it is quite light, so you want to make sure you blend everything down to the neck. Jin's actually quite famous for his lips, so he's got really nice plump, pink and hydrated lips, and Eric here obviously has been quite dehydrated for the day.
Super dry.
We're going to actually first exfoliate, and this is actually the Tony Moly lip exfoliant. Look how cute the packaging is. Is basically like a lip scrub, and all I'm going to do is just put some of this actually on his lip and just exfoliate, and this will just help to prep his lips for the lip gloss and lipstick later. And we're just going to quickly apply a bit of lip balm just all over the lips to make sure it's hydrated, then we can move on to the rest of the face. I've got here a moisturizing and a snow whitening formulation cream, which is great for not only help to prime and prep the skin, but also give you that like a whiter or a brighter effect. But I'm just going to apply this with a sponge because we're trying to be hygienic here. And just apply this all over the face.
I don't think I've ever been this white before.
Oh my god. So we're actually going to let that sort of sit and dry for a bit before we apply it on the next thing, which is the primer. And primer is very important, especially in Korean makeup, because it's all about that skin. It's all about that flawless, you know, poreless look. And priming is so important because you also can get that natural glow or that skin look while applying 100 layers of makeup. And this one actually has a tinge of pink in it, so it kind of gives you that nice and brightening effect as well. Same thing, I'm just going to apply this directly with a sponge. And as you can see, it's going to start filling up the pores and any scarring that you might have. So acne scarring is very common amongst men because men tend to have more of a active sebaceous gland, and it's easier for them to have like acne and pimples and whatnot. So this is obviously very, very important, especially in men's makeup, to make sure you fill in all the pores and holes, and therefore making the makeup look more flawless. So we're just going to let that sit and dry for a bit and then apply a little bit more primer just in the affected areas. So I'm just going to go over with just a little bit more of this, in particular the cheek area, which is also where I have most of my concerns as well. And I'm just going to use a patting motion just to make sure that these holes are more filled out. You can probably see that you can see the skin starting to glow. First, before I apply the foundation, is go over just the areas with a concealer and make sure we conceal those spots first, because then once we apply the foundation on top, those areas will be more covered because you have an extra layer of concealer underneath. Sometimes we might have to go back after the foundation just to conceal those areas again, but we're going to do this step first so we can make the foundation look more natural. So you have not only the liquid version but also a cream one. So for filling out first, we're going to start with the cream one because cream one usually give you a bit more coverage, and just using a regular concealer brush like that. So I'm just going to go in and just fill out those spots, especially just the areas that you kind of currently have a little bit of breakout. This is also good for covering any redness that you might have. So the foundation we're using today is this really cute magic cushion. and it's actually the lion character. You can use the cushion provided in the package, but I find with the sponge it's a little bit better because you can actually blend the color in a lot better as well. So just use a patting motion, just pat the foundation onto the skin, and that way it creates more of a flawless and poreless look. And this is gonna bring a bit more color back into Eric's face because right now he looks really, really white. Time-consuming part of the makeup look is to actually get the base done. So this is the hardest part, guys, don't worry.
Actually, in Korea, the professional makeup artists, they also pat like this. It takes a lot of work to achieve that natural, no makeup look, yeah.
So make sure you blend down the neck because you want to make sure that you are the same color throughout. So next thing we're going to do is go back with the Duo Concealer, and we're going to use the liquid side now just to highlight the under eyes. And this one actually has a doe foot applicator, so you can just apply it directly onto the eyes, and we're just going to use a little mini triangle shape. So now we're just going to go back in with a bit more concealer and a smaller brush just to fill out any gaps and discoloration that we have, so make sure the whole face is the same color. And I'm just going to focus on more of the scarring because usually that color is a lot darker than your natural skin color, so you want to make sure you fill in those little holes and just brighten it so you can lift it back up. So obviously if you have perfect skin, then you can totally skip this step. So now we're just going to quickly blend out the rest of the concealer with just a sponge that we were using earlier. Just make sure everything is blended in. So try to avoid any swiping motion because then you're just going to undo all that hard work. By removing some edges on the brows, you actually make the eyes a bit more friendlier, a bit more happier. And Jin has more of a curved brow, so we just remove some of that corner there. And now we're going to go on with the Innisfree Auto Brow Pencil, and we're going to fill in the brows and make it look a bit more long and filled out. The first one we're just going to comb through Eric's brows, make sure we get all the product out. Okay, so I'm just going to use this pencil just to fill out some edges. Just keeping the brows nice and straight with a little bit of curve at the end. So the next thing we're going to do is add a little bit more dimension in Eric's face. Because Jin actually has a really smooth and flawless look, his face is actually a slightly rounder face compared to Eric. So what I'm going to do is just going to emphasize on the nose contour as well as just making Eric's face slightly a little bit shorter. I'm going to add just a bit of color on the sides of his nose. And also Jin has a very defined nostril. So what I'm doing is I'm also going to draw a little bit of nostril here. And on the other side, we do the highlight stick, which is the wider side. And what we're going to do is just highlight majority in the center of his face, which is here. Now we're just going to use a blending brush and just blend out the harsh edges. So the next thing we're going to do is set the base, and we're going to use the Innisfree No-sebum Mineral Powder. So this is just translucent powder, it's got no color. We're just going to make sure we set everything because we don't want all that hard work to go to waste. So I'm just going to use a powder brush and just gently pat it over the areas, focusing on the T-zone area because that's where you get oily the most. Now we're going to add a bit of blush to Eric's face. So with Jin, it's actually quite natural, so I'm not going to use a bronze or anything like that, but something a bit more of a shadow color, so peachy tones would be great. I'm going to use this palette here, and I'm going to go with more of a natural color like True Flush here. Instead of using a brush, I'm actually going to use a sponge and just gently tap it, and then pat it on like you're glowing from inside. So the next thing we're going to do is the eyes, and Jin actually has a bit of shadowing on the outer corners only, so it's got more of like a peachy brown nude sort of kind of shade. So now I'm just going to grab this coral shade here and actually just add it to the outer corners of the eyes to sort of mimic that bigger or rounder eyes with a small pointy brush like this. There's also some brown shading around the eyes, so I'm just going to go back in with a bronzer color and just go over the coral just to blend it out a bit more, but also make it a bit more natural as well. So by adding bronzer to the top of the lids, we're going to make Eric's eye shape a little bit more rounder, similar to Jin's. So just going to add it just top here, like gently dabbing and then blending. So next thing we're going to do is the upper waterline, which is very common in K-pop makeup, and just gently fill this in between the lashes. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is curl his lashes, and because Jin's lashes is actually quite straight and black, and because usually when you put makeup on you get powder on your lashes and whatnot, so what we're going to do is just going to curl them so it's actually straight and not going down, and then we're just going to apply a very thin coat of mascara, whether you have clear or black, just to make sure the lashes stay straight and forward as opposed to down. Just remove any excess product on a tissue because, like I said, it's very natural and very light. So now as you can see, the lashes are more straight instead of going down, and it's definitely more defined and less powdery, so you've got that sort of nice black lashes, which is what lashes normally look like. And now the eyes are complete, and we're going to move on straight to lips. So for the lips, this is actually one of the most crucial part because Jin actually has really nice plump pink, almost like hydrated and really nice lips. So what we're going to do is kind of mimic that with a bit of product. What I'm going to start off with is actually redefining Eric's lips to make them look a little bit fuller than they are. So I'm going to draw a lip line just across the lips and even out the shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is going with the lip liner, and this one's by NYX. So we're going to match this side of the lip to this side, which means we're going to overdraw the shape a little bit. And Jin has more of a bigger bottom lip, so we're just going to draw outside of that lip line here as well. And then what I'm going to do is going to fill the lips in with the lip liner. So now we're just going to reshape Eric's lips to look more like Jin's, which is slightly smaller and a bit more fuller. So I'm just going to go back in with the concealer and just shade off the sides. And because it's a gradient lip, we're also going to go in with a sponge and actually apply foundation or concealer around the lips to make it more brown. So the last step we're going to do is apply a plumping lip gloss to the center of the lips. This is called Lip Injection by Too Faced. So this is pretty much the completed makeup look. We're also going to add in blue contacts to look more like Jin, and then we're going to pass it on to Claire for the hair part. So Eric, what do you feel so far?
I feel quite different, very pale, but I guess that's what the K-pop makeup trend is kind of like. I guess you can use a bit darker shade or something that suits your face more, but for this video we kind of want to make it more inspired by K-pop, so we went a few shades lighter. Yeah, let's do the hair and stick in the contacts and then see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do it without it then. It's gonna take forever if we gotta put it in.
So this is a completed look with hair and everything.
We did try to put on the contacts, but it's, as you may already know, contacts are quite hard to put in for the first time.
But you can obviously wear it or wear it without it, because it's totally up to you. So Eric, which one do you like the best?
I think the one I'm wearing now is actually my favorite look because it's fun, it's edgy, it's cool. You can go out to parties, go out at night.
I really like the style on you. I feel like it's obviously the most closest to Jin as well. I feel like whatever style that you choose at the end, as long as you're comfortable with it and you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
I think style and fashion is all about who you are and what you like.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys go check out Hello World YouTube channel. They have a lot of like celebrity interviews, a lot of fashion tips, and also K-pop stuff if you're really interested in that. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, and comment below and let me know which one is your favorite look and see if it's the same. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Bye!